So I do want to make the statement, we do not endorse any specific products. Please do your own research, or if you are seeing your own local therapist, kind of consult with them as well to figure out what would be best for you. So myositis is really all about the modifications. It's really looking, how can we best modify your environment or the task itself to really best meet your needs. So this can be done in a couple different ways. This can be done with adaptive equipment, assistive devices, or durable medical equipment. Does anyone know what all of those are? Think of adaptive equipment as those little tools that'll just help you with your day-to-day things. Assistive devices are going to be more like your wheelchairs, your walkers, your rollators, your canes. And the durable medical equipment is oftentimes like if you have a toilet seat raiser in your house, if you have grab bars in your showers, different things like that. But the biggest thing that can really help with modifications is just simple creative problem solving. So this was Nita's example of kind of things she's had to modify over the years. So started off with just like a 2-inch foam pad to help to come to standing, eventually graduating to a 4-inch foam pad. And then she used the Up Easy Seat Assist, and she is now using the sit and stand. And it's a natural thing to maybe need to modify the own modifications that you've had previously, but you do what works for you to help you be as independent and as functional as possible. Here are some resources on that app. You should have a handout that'll give you this QR code, so that way it'll pull you through to like a Google Doc that'll have a list of these websites that you see here, but then it also has a running list of some of the assistive technology that I've kind of developed in my clinic. If you want me to give you a chance to try and get this QR code, I can. If not, it is in the YAP app. Okay. All right. So we have a bunch of different discussion topics just to kind of get the wheels turning. So we are open to any questions. Before we get started with that though, they did come around where you're writing your name down on the little ticket stubs. Oh, okay. So we'll be doing drawings throughout, and we have a table with different types of adaptive equipment that you can pick and choose from today. Whoop. In the packet that you got when you registered, it'll tell you how to sign up for the YAP app, and then you have all of the materials. Yep. Okay, does anyone have any questions or anything that they want to share that has been helpful for them? I sent the slides to be in the app. What I can maybe try and do and see if I can add, I'll maybe try and chat with Monica and see if they can be added on.
You have a question or comment here?
I would add a fourth category to the things that you said, and that is permanent renovations that you have to have a carpenter or somebody to physically install. That's different from any the descriptors that you used. For example, like a ramp, and I'm sure there are other examples.
Widening your doorways if you're in an existing home with narrow doorways, or things like that.
Yeah, the home modifications are a whole other ballpark in addition to just the little pieces of equipment that we can do. But finding like the right kind of consultant who can kind of go through the home modifications, oftentimes in OT, but they do have just different ADA compliant kind of consulting services and construction services to really help you make those adjustments. Any questions?
I have a little gadget that I use. I have anti-synthetase syndrome with dermatomyositis, and so UV light is not my friend, even though I am melanated. And I wear, and I didn't forget, but I wear a little device that I can clip to my hat or to my shirt, and it basically, you develop a UV dose for the day based on what your needs are, and it just sends little messages to my phone when I'm getting close to like enough UV exposure for the day, and it also lets me put in when I applied sunscreen and what SPF, and also will say, hey, the UV factor is really high right now. If you're not wearing a hat, it's probably time to get in the shade. So, it's not that, it's not that conversational, but it gives me little alerts. And it's really helped me be a little more conscious of how much sun I'm exposed to and how much time I have left to be out in the sun, which those of us with DM know is, it's a good way to end up in a flare. So that's one of mine. Called Sun Aware, sun-a-wear, like W-E-A-R. It's under $100. It comes with a free app that you don't have to pay like a subscription to, and it's really great. I work part-time now, which is great, but I walk around a lot of construction sites, and I keep it clipped to the top of my hard hat.
You know what I might do? I'll have a running list going on the screen instead of just this PowerPoint. So if anyone has ideas that they think are helpful, I'll have them up here so it's easier to write down for you guys. Do that real quick.
My name's Scott. I've got a hand grip for a fork, and it could be a knife. It's developed by me. And it works. I can eat steak with this. It spins. Yeah, if anybody wants to have a look at it, come and see me.
Let's see if that pulls up. You know what I'll just do?
Is it number 10? Someone has number 10? No? 10? Ah. See. Is anyone able to see that, or is it not working? Okay. While we try to figure that out, has anyone ever seen the piece of equipment to my right here? Has anyone ever used this piece of equipment to my right? What are your thoughts on it? I just want to see if we can display this.
It's called free to go, and it's the number 2, so you know what they're talking about that. And the thing I like about it, I use it in the house all the time. So the seat is big and it's high, and then when you here in the hotel, the toilets are low, so you slide it over the toilet, you put the brakes down, and you're free to go.
You just have to remember, you can't have the basket like the regular rollators. But other than that, I have a lot of patients who say this has really helped them out. Even if they don't need it so much for just the walking around, if they know they're going to be going somewhere where they're not sure what the bathroom situation will look like, they really appreciate having this. I'll come around to your side. Toilet seat. Oh, I see, I see.
So my OT people ordered a knife now that has basically a saw handle, so that the knife looks like almost like a sword sticking out of your saw instead of a saw blade. I haven't got it yet.
Is it kind of like one of these?
No, it's
or
more
one?
like just a regular saw handle. Like if
It's
you
almost
hang-
like the brake handle on a walker, right?
yeah, but it's
Yeah.
angled so that it fits just like a saw for a handsaw,
Uh-huh.
with a blade underneath it. And he's concerned that my good knives I'll slip with, and I have been slipping with my hands on them, and so we'll see what that looks like. But that's
Okay.
a pretty cool thing to find.
Is it something specific just for knives, or is it just a piece of foam tubing that goes
In
over?
this case, it's attached to the knife. It's
Oh,
part of the knife.
nice. Oh, good.
I'm coming.
There's a website, activehands.com, out of the UK. 100% everything they have is for people with disabled hands. Activehands.com.
So out of Active Hands, I purchased grips that go onto a kayak paddle, because kayaking was one of my previous things that I did for fun. And there's a grip that'll hold your hand down, and there's another one that slides on so you don't drown with the paddle. And that's been really helpful. So they've got a lot of aids there.
Is that with Active Hands, or is that something else?
No, that's Active Hands. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah. Usually, most of my patients get like the weightlifting hooks or like the straps for that, but I need to check out their website more.
There's a specific one that's detachable, so that you can just clip in and it holds it on your wrist. And
Oh,
your
nice.
hands.
Nice.
So, past years, this group has talked about Dyson, and I have a sample here if anybody is at all interested in it. When you're talking about things slipping, this is like a kind of a sticky, I don't know if it's silicone or plastic or whatever it is, but you can cut it to size, and you can just use it in a lot of different ways. I use it because it's flexible when I'm having trouble with a jar. Am I allowed to pass it around?
Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely.
Okay, good.
Yeah, Dyson's great. Like opening jars, if you are having issues like cutting your food and your plate slipping, you can set it underneath of your plate.
It comes in rolls that are, I don't know, about 12, 15 inches wide and several feet long, so you can cut it, spread them out all over the house. I've got it next to my scissors and my tweezers and everything that I have all over the house for those sorts of things.
Oh, you're familiar.
Oh. Ooh, that's a good idea.
Oh, sorry. You can use it on a slide board so that the hand doesn't slip when you're moving over.
Now, do you find your butt's getting stuck, or you just move it along with your hand?
I move it along with my, it's much easier if you don't have to worry about your hand
And then she's putting them
slipping
up
out
on the
from
screen,
under
the
you.
name of it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Last year, I brought a number of gizmos and gadgets with me to allow people in the room to touch and feel and play with. This year, I've only brought one, but it has been, for me, the biggest game changer of the year, and that's the chair that I'm sitting in. This is a motorized, foldable, traveling chair. It only weighs 39 pounds. It's carbon fiber. My wife can lift it into the trunk of a car, and I'd be happy to get up out of it and let you can do a little test ride if anybody wants to do that.
Would you mind sharing the name of that?
It's from the company Pride, and one of their lines is Jazzy, and there are multiple models of Jazzy. This one in particular is called the Jazzy Carbon Fiber. That's to distinguish it from the also very popular Jazzy, which will allow you to rise nearly to standing height because there's a rise up thing. That's a separate motor from the motors that power the rear wheels, which that's the only motors that this chair has.
Okay. Thank you. Kind of speaking how you said you've brought things in the past. I have things up here. I'll maybe have them be passed around.
So we're doing another drawing, number 8. Whoever has number 8 can come up to the table and pick up your tool.
Ah! Do any of you want to?
One of the things I have up here is very simple. It's just a pair of socks, but they have a little loop at the top. One of the common things that I hear is I can't grip my socks to pull them up. Just has a little loop already attached on there. You just stick your finger through, try and help pull it up that way. So I can pass these around.
Cut it. Dyson. Yeah. I did the same thing.
Yes, absolutely.
Here, I'm coming around.
Florida, I don't wear a lot of socks. But I find that some of the, oh, I'm sorry. I find that some of the lady slacks that you can just tug up, I don't tug up so well anymore. I can't sew anymore, so my neighbor actually has sewn little loops
Oh,
on
good.
the sides of the waist so I can pull them up. Same thing, just a little higher up.
Yeah. Good little modification there. Also, just very simple, built-up utensils. If you haven't seen these, I'm sure a lot of you have seen these. The knife on here has a little bit of a rocker style. Instead of having to try and do the saw, just a little rocker movement. They also make these almost shaped more like a U shape, so it's a little easier to grab onto, a little easier to maneuver. For any of my friends who still love cooking, but those darn pans are getting difficult to try and grab onto, this is called the Pan Buddy. It just easily screws on. I'm hardly gripping this. I'm basically just have my thumb and my first finger there. Now keep in mind, if you're using a cast iron pan, it'll still be a little bit heavy. It's not gonna take away the weight, but it'll eliminate having to try and grip onto it here. Makes it much easier to pick up, to maneuver. If you have like arthritis in your hands even, it can be good for that as well.
Does anyone want to see the socks?
This is more for the ladies out here, but they are having a lot more adaptive bra options, multiple different closures, also has different rings that you can attach to try and maneuver that a little easier instead of trying to fiddle with the little fasteners that typically come with a bra. So if the ladies want to take a look at this, we can pass that around too. And if anyone happened to come to Hopkins on Friday, you may or may not have seen this. You might have also seen the vendor here today as well, or throughout this weekend. Just the easy step. So just a cane with about a half step on the bottom.
Look at the socks.
So when you're getting
You see it?
up and down stairs.
anyone want
We
to
used
look
it
at the
Friday
socks?
to get back onto the bus. I practiced with patients who said, like, I love going to football games. I don't know how I'm going to manage the stadium stairs. Kind of practice using something like this just to make your world a little bit more accessible.
So number 18, anyone has number 18 can come up to the table and pick up a tool. 18?
Here, I'll type that up.
I have an easy step, and what I found it really helpful for is getting out of the swimming pool. The steps are pretty steep, and I could get into the swimming pool, but I couldn't get out of it. So I actually keep the easy step on the side at our community pool, and then I'm able to use it to step and get out after.
The easy step can also sometimes help people like getting back into bed. If you have a higher bed, it definitely makes it easier getting out, but then it can be difficult trying to get back in. So sometimes that can give you the little boost that you need to get back into the bed.
And you get exercise. So I love it. Oh, so I use it all the time. It's just amazing, the easy cane. So I still live in a 2-story house, and it takes me a minute and a half to go up, and so I get a little exercise. It's really great.
Got one over here.
More so, it's just I found Velcro to be my friend, and I've made all kinds of things so I can, do things that I want to do. And you buy it in rolls, comes in different widths. You have a hook side, the receptor side, the hook side, and the receptor side, and you can rig all kinds of things. I mean, even like doing weights or things like that. I made something to just wraps around.
Okay, good.
Very easy to do and very inexpensive to do. So
Allison, with the easy step, what we did was we put holes in it so that when we were in the swimming pool, we wouldn't have the pressure of trying to pull it out of the water onto the step. And it was really an easy step then.
Oh, good.
So,
That's a good idea. Oop. In the middle here.
So another device my OT found was something called a foot funnel, which is like a shoehorn that fits over the back of the heel, and it's got a string. It's like a sketcher where you just step in, your foot slides in, and you pull that thing out. You're not fighting with a shoehorn.
Okay, so is it kind of like a sake but for a shoe? Oh,
It's actually called a foot funnel shoe.
okay.
So we have another drawing, number 13. Anyone with number 13 can pick up a tool from here. 13, 1, 3.
Just in general, there are also a lot of good adaptive clothing options out there now. The last couple of years, that's really kind of exploded. A lot of easy slip-on shoe options. I think I've seen a lot of those already this weekend. Even just a lot of shoes that are made more with elastic laces that you don't have to be tying your shoelaces. They make button-down shirts that have just the magnetic fasteners, but a button front look. So that way you don't have to be fiddling with those buttons.
Just related to that about the elastic laces, you can always buy elastic laces from, triathletes use them as an example. Just about any shoe store will have them.
Okay. Okay, so for the elastic shoelaces, I've got a pair on here if you want to see it. Come over and see me.
You come by later and have a look.
Go to Nike.com and do Nike Precision Fly Ease. And that's what I have. It has Velcro, then undoes, whatever. You take the Velcro over, and then there's a big loop to put your finger through to pull the tongue down, and it's wide open. You get your foot out, put your foot back in, pull the tongue up, and pull the Velcro out. It has a big loop for your fingers. I'm wearing an old-fashioned Fly Ease with a zipper, which I love the best, but they're not making the zipper. So go to Nike.com, look up Fly Ease, one word.
Oop, one word.
Oh, Fly Ease. Fly Ease. Flyease. One word.
Number 9, whoever's number 9 can, here, right here.
Does anyone have something that might not be a product, but just something that they've kind of hacked in their day-to-day that they wanted to share?
I have trouble shampooing my hair, so I bought one. It's like a hair scrubber with silicone, and you slip your hand into it with the long, kind of looks like a scrub brush, and it's really helped because I just wasn't able to scrub my scalp, and really cheap on Amazon, just a simple little gadget. Yeah. It's just a little hair scrubber you can put in there.
There's a lot of different handle configurations. So there's some where you just kind of slide your hand around like a little knob, and it definitely, if you can get your hand onto your head, it's really great.
I just carry a little my for opening thing.
Yes, yeah.
And it's very flexible. I just stick it in my pocket and carry it around.
Can I hold it up so people can see? Yeah, he carries it in his pocket, so it's easy to grip things and open things. It's perfect.
Sometimes the shelf liners are kind of the same thing inside out.
Okay, yeah. Perfect.
Not really a product, but I decided I can't reach anything on the top shelf anymore, so I got rid of a lot of stuff, first of all, and then had a handyman come in and put extra holes in the side so I could move the kitchen shelves down. You know, a coffee cup doesn't take 12 inches. You can have a 6 or 6-inch shelf. So now everything's on the first or second lower shelf, and it's just more accessible for myself and my husband. Got rid of the stuff on top.
Yeah, just thinking, is there any way that you can just rearrange sometimes just to make things easier? If there's things you know that you use more frequently, have those closer and right on hand.
My wife uses a 4-inch square piece of shelf liner, the kind of plastic ones, and dresses them up by crocheting around the edges. But again, they're great for jar openers and again, like a non-slip coaster on any kind of a table or anything like that.
Okay, nice.
We have number 25, so whoever's number 25 can pick up a tool from here. Here, right here, the table.
I keep one of those shelf liners, just a little
4x4 in my walker because sometimes the floor is too slippery and it gives you a good grip with your, with your with your feet. And then the second thing is that I use, because your hands are weak, you drop all the time, drop things on the floor, and I can't use one of those reachers anymore. So I use a kitchen tongue, which is much easier. It's longer, and it's a lot easier to use. Works beautifully. I can even pick up a penny with it.
You had your hand up and then.
I've got a device at home that helps to open the jar. I haven't got it here, of course. It actually you just hold it under the lip and it cracks the seal, and then that releases the tension on the jar, the lid, and it becomes really easy to open.
I have something similar that is screwed into the bottom of my cabinet, and it's like a V shape with, it's like an open crocodile mouth.
Jiffy twist?
Yes. Yeah. And I kind of, you can use it for everything from like a big jar to like the tiniest little, like a soda bottle, which is very handy. Jiffy twist.
Yeah, that one installs like right under your cabinets, and it's kind of like a, correct, it's like a triangle shape kind
Yeah,
of, right?
it's like an open alligator mouth that you're sliding your things through. But it's nice because the cabinet gives you something to kind of put your force against rather than using both of your hands.
Well, the Jiffy Twist is great, but if you can't grab the jar, so what I use is the Donner gloves, gripper gloves for socks, but I use them for everything. So I can hold on to the jar and twist. I come down a railing in my house, it's slippery, so I use the gloves. I use these gloves for everything. And one last thing, I can't use a reacher, so the tongs are great. Another thing that's great, believe it or not, is a back scratcher. So I make the back scratcher long, and I can grab things, pull it, not a jar, obviously, but almost anything else, it's great for a back scratcher.
Okay.
We have number 11, so if you have ticket 11, please come to the table and pick up your gift.
Something that has helped a lot of my patients in clinic, I don't know if you guys saw them a lot during the pandemic, but when no one wanted to touch things, those no-touch door openers. I have a lot of patients who will actually use those, like opening car doors, opening dishwashers especially. Just slide it onto your finger to try and get a little piece of resistance there, and then it'll just hook on, pull, instead of having to try and grab it with like the tips of your fingers. And they said that has helped them a little bit with all those kind of things. It's like it's usually made out of metal. If you just Google like no-touch door opener, it has like a little circle and then like a little hook on the end. Sometimes they'll have like a little tip because it was meant to press like elevator doors and things like that.
Some of them kind of look like a big old-fashioned key without teeth.
Yes, yes.
And some of them, the tip of it works on a touch screen as well. So you can, kind of loop your fingers through it and use it on a touch screen too. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that one's like really a very thin one. They make thicker ones. Yeah. They're just like a no-touch opener.
Yeah, if you Googled no-touch door opener, those should pop up.
We have number 15. If someone has ticket 15, please go to the table and pick up something.
I have like a spaghetti server. It's almost like a spoon with a lot of little fingers, and I use that to pick things up off the floor and or on counters or whatever that I can't close my fingers on.
What did you say you were using again?
It's a spaghetti server.
Oh.
It's almost like a spoon, but it has little fingers on it.
Oh, okay.
So
So I have, what I carry that's really handy is I have scissors that fold. And so I leave them half open so the point is covered by one and the other side is open and it sits in your pocket, doesn't tear your pocket up. But boy, getting in and out of ketchup, you know, little packets of ketchup or anything, these are the, what gets you out.
If there's also people out there who really love doing crafting kind of things, but they're getting a little nervous handling like their scissors or the different kinds of blades, like the grip isn't quite there, you're worried you might slip. There's a company out there called Slice, and they make their ceramic blades. So it'll cut through paper, it'll cut through like cardboard, but if it goes against your skin, it will not cut your skin. I mean, don't press too hard, but a little slip, it shouldn't cut your skin. So they make like scissors, they make pretty good ergonomic like box cutters that have a pretty good grip on them that would be easy even if you don't have like a full hand grip. The company is called Slice. Slice. Oh, let me type it. Oh, I can't see the bottom. Okay. So some of them are just shaped like just normal kind of like crafting tools, but some of them, there's one that kind of loops around like this. So it'd be easy to kind of get a pretty simple grip on there that would make it a little easier to manage.
We have number 28. If anyone has the ticket 28, please come to the table.
Yes, I've had a hard time with my hands cutting my toenails, and I found on Amazon and on a New York Times column, the Wire Cutter, a brand of toenail clippers. I don't have the name of them, but they're Japanese made. With a Japanese name. If you go on Amazon, nail clippers, they're bigger, they're easier to handle, and they are super sharp. They didn't make my nail cutting easy, but they made it easier.
Okay.
So I would recommend them.
Okay. They do also make like boards for nail clippers, so that way you can kind of stabilize just right on the board and kind of clip down. If anyone has access to like 3D printers, they have a couple different designs out there where you would fit your nail clipper in and it's kind of in a stand, so that way it's a little more stable versus trying to do it right directly in your hand as well.
Okay. Someone else talking? Okay. I have a little tough time getting in and out of the car, and I have this car handle assist, and it hooks into like the U-bar on the lock, and has kind of just a regular handle with kind of a triangular wedge that just slips into that U-bar. And so when I'm getting out of the car, getting into the car, it's an added place that I can grip on to pull myself up and out. It's really helpful.
Okay, good.
And it's very cheap. It's like on Amazon, it's like $6 or $7.
Okay, good.
Yes, I just wanted to show, I was having a lot of trouble getting my credit cards out of my wallet, so I bought an accordion wallet that just kind of opens up like an accordion, and it's very easy to get the credit cards out. And then also, when you go to like a gas, well, I guess some gas pumps now are just touch, but before when you had to put your credit card, I could never get my credit card out of those slots. And there's a little gadget, I don't have it with me, that you clip the credit card on and then you can pull it in and out of the...
I think we might have had that on the table.
Oh, okay.
someone might win it.
I didn't sign up. I see one back behind you. Oop. Oh, okay.
At one of the conferences, I think it was Lady Rarity from Mitzi suggested it's like a thicker dowel. It's just a round piece of wood. And then my husband put various sizes of hooks in it. You know what I'm talking about? He just screwed the hooks in this piece of wood, and I use it as a handle to get in and out of the car or to open my washer and dryer.
Oh, okay, good.
Or my oven door.
Now, is
drawers.
that just something your husband made?
Yes.
Ooh, you got a good husband.
I do. But it was her idea up front. Mitzi showed me.
Bitsy, you're getting some credit.
Just a quick follow on that idea. For those of us who have anything that looks like weightlifting hooks, can essentially achieve the same thing. I have to admit, when we moved to a new home, we had a vertical washing machine, the front loading, and I couldn't get it open. So I got out of laundry duty for quite some time, and then I figured out, unfortunately, that I could use that hook.
Yeah. So the weightlifting hooks, like we talked about active hands before, they certainly have a bunch, but there are also cheaper options if you're looking for a more cost-effective option. They have ones on Amazon as well.
Just for the toenail clipping things, I just go to my podiatrist. It's $50. It's really nice. He lotions it very nicely. I don't have to worry about, hurting myself or causing any infection or anything. So that's always an option, and they don't really advertise it, but it's an option out there for you.
So you have number 24. If anyone has ticket 24, yeah, you can get it from the table.
So this isn't a hack, this is a question. Does anybody have anything to open dishwashers? The ones that you stick your hand under and open, it's...
Yeah, so she just mentioned you can use those weightlifting hooks to grab underneath to try and get a better grip. Sometimes those no-touch door openers can help out a little bit just to give you a little extra oomph behind it. The weightlifting hooks will probably be a much easier option to really get as much force behind it as you need. Because I know those dishwashers, they can really stick.
Amazon. I got it. I gave it to you. Weightlifting hooks is the key word.
The question about opening a dishwasher also applies to refrigerator doors, and that is what is traditionally been called just a church key can opener. The sharp end usually will grab into the thing enough that it's pretty helpful to open things, and I have them just laying around the kitchen.
The ultimate jar opener my daughter gave me as a gift. It's called Robo Twist jar opener. It's battery operated. You just put it on the jar, press the button, and it opens the jar for you. No effort. And no commission on my part.
So what I use is something called a boot hook. So it's actually a handle with a metal probe that sticks out with just a short hook on it.
How do you spell that?
It's just boot hook for your boots.
Oh yeah, like a boot pull. Yeah.
Yep. And that works really good for all my dryers and dishwashers and everything. It just...
I also have a boot jack in my house, and it's like a little triangle. You step on the bottom end, and then you put your ankle into the little U shape, and it helps you pull off your shoes.
I was just in one of the clinics here, and they said to use a hemostat for pulling the credit cards out of things. a hemostat, Hemostat, I believe is how you spell it. So if you're, I don't know what it is, but that's what their suggestion.
It was just compared to a roach clip, for those of you who know what that is.
Hi, I still travel by plane, sometimes alone, and I was having trouble getting my suitcase off the luggage thing, and I had to start to ask for help, and I don't like to do that. So I thought about it, and I came up with idea of attaching a dog collar through the handle, because the handles are pretty tight to the bag and I can't get both hands in, and I need both hands to pull it up and then onto the ground. And that worked like a dream. I was really pleased that I could get both my hands in it and get the bag off the conveyor belt pretty easily.
Yeah, very good idea.
So 24 or 28, if you have it, please come to your table.
I am historically very low tech. My idea of tech is like Flint. But as my mobility has eroded, my younger son in particular has been helpful in that he's installed switches that I can turn lights on and off from my phone. I can adjust the heat and the air conditioning from my phone. I can lock and unlock the front door, my front door from my phone. And I have thanks to Heidi, I have blinds that I can raise and lower from my phone. And it's just phenomenal. I mean, it gives you enormous amount of control. Nothing's particularly pricey either. You need to have things, make sure that they're professionally installed, but to be able to, adjust the air conditioning from wherever you are without getting up, going upstairs, or doing anything like that, turning lights on and off. I can even open my garage door from my phone. So those are things that, if your mobility is increasingly restricted, you all might want to consider. And again, none of this is terribly expensive. Thank you.
Number 19. I don't know where all these tickets have gone. No one has number 19?
Number 19. Oh, you got it. Okay. Here I come.
The comment about air travel, I've made this point at multiple meetings before. If you're in the transition of wondering if you can still travel by air, if you're not using the wheelchair provided by the airlines, you really should ask yourself, why not? The wheelchairs are a big game changer. You go to the front of the line for security, and in the context of getting baggage off a carousel, the person who met you at the airplane, pushed you on the carousel to baggage claim, is happy to get your bags off the carousel for you.
That's very good suggestion. Does anyone use a page turner for like your Kindle or your iPad?
I actually use one.
I use one. I don't know. I developed some pretty great insomnia from years of being on prednisone, and so I would put my in the middle of the night, I'd just be like, I guess I'm gonna read a book now, and I would put my Kindle on a little like flexi holder, so it was like kind of being held up for me, and then it's a little thing that you slide onto your Kindle, and it's got a nice big button, so you could just advance the pages when you're laying in bed, or if you just so you're not having to hold the Kindle up while you're reading it. It's pretty nice.
Ticket 26. Anyone with ticket 26? No? Okay.
So one of the resources that I've included in that little smart code that you can access is the Equip Me OT. I think actually some of the prizes here were from Equip Me OT.
She has a pretty good online resource where she tests out like different equipment that's out there. She'll even come up with just like different hacks. I think it's a really good resource for anyone who's just trying to figure out what are some things that I can do to make it a little easier. She actually just had one the other day, pretty easy installation, like almost like grab bars, but on your sofa to help you get up from the sofa without having to fully change the whole seating structure in your house. So I would definitely check that out if you're looking for more ideas and what's out there.
We have number 4, ticket 4.
I wondered what the name of that was. Equip Me OT.
Yes. So it'll also be on. I just typed it up there, but it is, if you have that app, the worksheet that I have, if you go to that smart link, it'll give you access to that resource. But definitely a good one out there for anyone just trying to figure out what are some things that I can look into getting, or what are some things I can do around the house to make it a little safer, a little easier.
Number 16. Okay, yeah, come to the table and.
All right. Any last minute questions? So I think we're just about wrapping up.
We're going to call out a couple more numbers,
Mhm.
so just come up if you have one of these numbers.
So I haven't progressed to this stage with dysphagia, but I have friends in Australia that when they choke, they can actually use a suction device. The spouse can use their suction device to remove any stuck food at the top of their esophagus. I don't know what it's called.
I have seen that. I will try to remember what it is called, and then I will add it to that link that I have, because I know what you're talking about, and it does seem very helpful.
We have a number 12 and a number 20 if you want to hit the table before you leave. And number 17, and that will probably finish us off.
I do thank you guys for coming, though. Like I said in the beginning, I certainly do my most learning from all of you. Oftentimes, the things that I recommend to my patients are just things that my other patients have said have been helpful for them. So you're a great community, and I'm really honored to just be here with you guys.
Thanks.